is the lecture for Chapter 7, and Chapter 7 is all about entrepreneurship, starting a new business, regardless of whatever kind of, whether it's a sole proprietorship or a partnership or a corporation. This is all about starting your own company. So let's start kind of at the very beginning. What's in it for me? All right, why would you want to start a company? So your book talks about 5 things. Greater financial success. And I think this is kind of the undermining reason why anybody starts a company. We want to get rich, right? The second one is independence. We've talked about this in class. I want to work the hours that I want to work, but customers can be demanding. Who really sets your hours? And that's the customers. Flexibility. Some people like a challenge. We talked about one of the advantages of a sole proprietorship is pride. You know, I did this. I built this all by myself. This is mine. And the last reason why people kind of start new businesses is something we don't often think about, but that's survival. Some people have few other options, all right? One of the things is justice involved individuals. You've done your time, you get out of prison. Good luck trying to find someone to hire you. So maybe the best thing for you to do is start your own business because you don't have many other options. Or maybe you're in an overseas you're in a different country and there's just not that much work. So maybe you start your own company just to survive. So those are kind of the 5 big reasons why people start companies. And I'm sure everybody kind of has their own underlying reason why you would want to start a company. But they probably fall somewhere in those 5 categories, if you will. So let's talk about an entrepreneur, all right? And one of the entrepreneurs that's kind of famous right now is Elon Musk. But these are kind of the 6 things that all entrepreneurs have in common. They have a vision. They can see things. They know what they want to make or do. Self-reliance. And your book talks about the internal locus of control. So one of the ways I like to explain this is that every good grade that you get is because you did well. That's an internal focus of control. I could control my grade. I got a good grade. Every bad grade I get is because of a teacher. That's an external locus of control. You're blaming somebody else. So self-reliance has an internal locus of control. So even when you mess up, you don't blame others. You look inside and say, maybe it was me. So that's kind of the difference. But most entrepreneurs are self-reliant. They also have a lot of energy. Many of you know that Elon Musk is on the spectrum. Sometimes his energy is off the charts. They have confidence. They are tolerant of uncertainty. And they're tolerant of failures. So, you're going to fail as an entrepreneur. That's just the facts of life. There's a commercial out that says something about Edison didn't fail 99 times in making the light bulb. He discovered 99 ways that it wouldn't work. So that's kind of really the way that entrepreneurs look at stuff when it doesn't work. Well, okay, I know it won't work that way. Let's find a way to make it work. So uncertainty and failure are common in an entrepreneur, but they're able to turn it around and use that energy and that confidence and that vision to keep going. Now, most of the time, I'm not going to say all of the time, but most of the time, entrepreneurs make lousy managers. Managers kind of do the same thing day in and day out, and they make sure things kind of flow and go the way they want it to. And that is not the personality of an entrepreneur. Like I said, the entrepreneur has vision and energy and confidence. And the idea of sitting in an office and making sure somebody signed their time card or anything like mundane like that would typically drive an entrepreneur crazy. So they like to find and get things off the ground and start the company, but typically a lot of them leave once the company is up and started. Now, one of the things that we're going to talk about is how do you fund your company? And this is not easy. By far, the most common way to fund your company is personal resources, your own money, or maybe your family gives you money. Loans, but it is really hard to get a loan for a new company unless you have already had companies that have been a success. Yes, Elon Musk could walk into a bank right now and get a loan for a business. Many of us cannot because we've not proven ourselves. So, everybody says, I'll just get a loan. It's not as easy as just saying that. Another way that has become really popular is what we call crowdfunding, GoFundMe, Kickstarter. You put it out there and hope people will give you the money to start it. Angel investor and venture capital. These two are the exact same thing, except one is an individual and the other one is a company. So if you've ever seen Shark Tank, that's what we're talking about. Mark Cuban will say, I will give you $1 million for 40% of your company. Or I don't know the rest of them, but pick a name. They'll give you 10%, or I'm sorry, they'll give you 100,000 for 10%. Typically, the more money they give you, the more share of ownership they want. So that's kind of a lot of ways to get money is kind of, giving part of your company to somebody else. The problem with that is the more they own, the more they can tell you how you want it run. So some people don't like that. So, it just depends on what is your comfort level with an angel investor or a venture capital. Now, there have been lots of companies that have been started with venture capital. Staples is one of them. Mitt Romney, who ran for president several years ago, owned a venture capital company, and they invested in Staples for a share of the business. And now Staples is everywhere. Angel investor is, like I said, it's an individual, same thing as a venture capital. It's just a person. That's important to remember. So those are kind of the 5 categories of how to get funding for your business. I mean, you ask people if they want to share your business, or just ask people if they'll invest with you. One of the things I wanted you all to see, and this is as of 2019. No, I updated it. It says 2022. It's on and it hasn't changed. Andrew Carnegie was the most successful entrepreneur in the U.S. Henry Ford, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, and Larry Page. And I think if you all want to find out the kind of the personalities of entrepreneurship, just kind of Google one of them and take a look at it and see, what they did and how they did it. And that'll give you an idea of, what an entrepreneur does. It's really just a person that has the drive and the vision to start a company and run with it. So out of this chapter, and it's not a terribly long chapter, but out of this chapter, the most important thing for you to remember are the funding options, especially crowdfunding, angel investor, and venture capital, just so that you know the difference between the two. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.